Hey everybody, it's Justice for Comics. It is Friday afternoon. I got the email a little earlier than normal. Usually I get the CovrPrice email usually late on Friday. Usually get it in the evening, so I normally don't do this video until Saturday morning. But it came early this time, so I just got it right before 1 o'clock. So this is the CovrPrice weekend review. It's their kind of their top 20 list. I'll also do another video later today on CBSI's their top 10 list, or they call it the Hot 10 list. But this is CovrPrice list. So this is kind of driven by algorithm. CovrPrice tracks sales and increase in price percentages on eBay, basically. So it doesn't cover all the auction sites like heritage auctions and things like that, but mainly covers eBay auctions. So it gives you an idea of kind of what's been on the move and what's kind of hot. So I think it's a good list to review. I've got a lot of feedback from subscribers saying that they enjoy my review of the list, so I'll continue to do it as long as I keep getting these emails. So let's jump into it. CovrPrice top 20 list. So we'll start off with number 20 on the list, Powers of X number 1. Unless you've been living under a rock, most people are well aware of this series. I don't have this A cover. I should have bought it. I don't know why I didn't buy it, but I've got the Gerald Perel cover, which is probably the most expensive of all the Powers of X books. I think it sells consistently on eBay between $150 and $200. So I picked that off of I think it was Comic Mint, or one of the websites had it. Really limited print run. I think there was only 500 or 600 copies of that made. That book goes for pretty good money. So yeah, it's a good book to have. Powers of X number 1, the A cover. Definitely a hot book right now. And it says here a high sale of $52 for a 9.8, up 111%. So I looked on eBay. I think the regular A covers are selling around $15 to $20 pretty consistently. So you might be able to get it slightly lower than $15 if you do an auction or really work at it. But I'd say $15 is pretty common. There's a little typo there. That's not number 15. Number 19 on the list, Ghost Spider number 2, the Peach Momoko variant. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Raw high sale of $49. I think this was a 1 in 25 ratio. It's kind of a cool cover. I like it. I'm not a big Ghost Spider collector, so this is something I wouldn't have picked up for $25. I mean, I think I remember seeing it on Midtown for like $21. So it's a 1 in 25 ratio, and it's selling for almost double ratio, so it's doing well. Nice looking cover. Number 18 on the list, Spider-Man number 1, the Copial Premier variant. I don't know what the ratio of these were. I don't know if it was 1 per store or 2 per store, but it seems a little limiting. There's the cover. It's kind of cool. So it's kind of like the regular cover, but it's got the black and white fading to color type thing. We've seen that before. Marvel's done plenty of those. Raw high sale of $31, up 94%. So that book is on the move. I don't have that one. I've got the Delato one, which is my favorite cover of that issue. Number 17 is Powers of X number 3. Apparently the pre-orders on this was pretty low, so it says it's the hardest one to get of the Powers of X, going for around $16. I have that. I've got the secret variant, which is even a little harder to find, so I was lucky enough to grab that at one of my LCSs. Nice book, good story. Number 16 on the list is Powers of X number 5. I just got this, I think, in my Midtown order. up 132%. Raws are going for up to $11. Yeah, I'd say $8 to $10 would be what you would pay on eBay right now. I was at my LCS last week, and they had plenty of them on the wall. So I could have easily bought multiple copies. I believe I pre-ordered that on Midtown, or I've got that coming in my Midtown order. So look forward to it. I love the cover on it. It's pretty cool. And it's been a good series. So if you've not been collecting these Powers or House of X books, you've been missing the boat. It's definitely worth your time. Number 15, The Plot #1. I think this is the standard A cover, selling for around $10. So more than double cover price, which is good. That was a $4 book. It's a cool cover, no doubt about it. It's got that Swamp Thing feel to it, right? I like it. I love Vault Comics. It's probably one of my favorite books right now. Is Heathen from Vault Comics. Really, really been enjoying that series. I just made a deal with somebody on eBay that is selling issue #1, the 1 in 10 variant. That book in 9/8 grade sells between $400 to $500, I believe. I got a really mint copy, ungraded, which is hard to find. It was the only one I could find that's not been graded, and it's also signed by the artist, so either the artist or writer. I'll highlight that book. I'll probably get it in a week or so, but when I get it in, I'll do a video on it. And again, I can't recommend it enough. Heathen by Vault Comics. It is a really good series. It's excellent. The writing is awesome. The artwork's awesome. Vault Comics is one of the better comic book publishers, in my opinion, right now. So, yeah, just so you know that. Number 14, Omega, the Unknown #1 from 1976. Not too familiar with this book. Is it the first appearance of somebody, Omega? I'm not too sure. Kind of a cool cover. It's got that, definitely looks like a 70s book. Bronze Age. Yeah, first appearance of Omega, or it says here, first appearance of the upcoming Annihilation Scourge. Oh, I guess Omega is going to be in that. So, yeah, a lot of times they'll dig up some character from the past that no one could care less about, and they throw them into a current series, and it revitalizes that book. So if I go on eBay right now and I type in Omega the Unknown #1, let's see if there's any for sale. There's a fine copy for $3. No bids on it yet. 5 days left on the auction though. There's a couple copies here. Number 8, #1, 18 bids, 9 hours left. Very fine to fine copy. Yeah, I mean so here's the one that's in really good shape. 9.6, the guy's saying, and man, it does look nice. That's easily a 9.6 to 9.4 from just what I can tell. Yeah, I love finding books from the 70s in really good shape like this. I don't know, it just makes it that much nicer. But yeah, it's up to $33, and there's still 3 days left on the auction. So yeah, that could be a book that goes for good money. Here they're saying a high sale of $47 for a CBCS. CBCS 9. I don't know who uses CBCS grading, but I would never use them. 9.2. If I was ever going to grade a book, it's CGC or nothing. I don't believe in PGX or CBCS or any of that other stuff. I think you're wasting your time. I don't like grading to begin with, but I think if you're going to grade a book, you want to go with where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, and it's definitely CGC, not those other grading companies, in my opinion. Number 13, Powers of X #5. The Nakayama connecting variant. I think I did a pretty good job on that pronunciation. Hitting a high of $13. Yeah, I don't like that cover. I could have bought that. I looked at it and I was like, nah, I passed. I went with the Huddleston variant instead, which is way better. Number 12 on the list, Spider-Man number 1, the Chip Kid variant. Hitting $13. It's kind of boring to me. I mean, okay, it's a red cover and it's spider in the eye. I don't know. It just doesn't. I wouldn't pay cover price for that, let alone $13. Number 11, Absolute Carnage number 3, the Young Guns variant. I do have a copy of that. I do like that cover. It's pretty cool. Unfortunately, my copy is not in near mint condition. I would put it at maybe fine plus. I've got some spine damage to it. But I got it for cover price. What the heck? Selling for around $19 in raw condition. Number 10 on the list, House of X number 5. Looks like the raw high sale hitting $10. Looks like plenty of movement on that book. It's a cool cover. Apocalypse. Looks like he's walking through the Florida swamp. That's what it looks like to me. Looks humid and sticky. Cool cover though. I like it. And it says there's a reveal in this issue. But in this issue, it reveals that the gold balls shoots from his chest are eggs, which are then energized by Proteus, genetically altered by Elixir, incubated by Tempest, and Hope inserts memory. Yeah, Jesus, that's complicated. All right. What I'm going to probably do is after I get all these books, House of X, Powers of X, I'm going to sit down and reread them because I'm sure I missed all kinds of things in reading them. Just so many books coming out. I'm really behind in my reading, and I'm the kind of person that I need to focus when I read something. I can't just I can't do it half-assed. I have to really focus. So I'm going to probably reread that whole series. Number 9 on the list, The Amazing Spider-Man. It just says newsstand. So what's going on here? Okay. So cover price, little typo there. They should have put Amazing Spider-Man number 210. First appearance of Madam Web. I did a video last week on that. I do have that copy in very high grade. I think I have a 9.8. Pretty easily a 9.8 in my opinion. If not at least a 9.6, but I'm willing to bet mine's a 9.8. 9.4 just sold for $125. 9.6s, I looked that up. Let's look it up real quick again, see if the prices have changed any. What was it, $230? Of course I have to look it up. $210, yeah, excuse me. $210. Let's see if there's any CGC books for sale. Yeah, there's a nice raw condition one for $75, another one for $85. I don't see any CGCs yet. They must be bought out. I don't know. Man, there's none. Oh, there's one. Oh, sorry, CBCS for $385. That's still an auction with 6 hours left. There's a 9.6 with an auction at $227.50. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, some of these people are trying to sell it for $70, $80, $100 in raw condition. There's a 9.8 asking $850. Amazing, $850. Wow. I mean, maybe I should go get it graded. If mine comes back at 9.8, there's another one asking $1,000, $995. Holy crap! That's a pretty good turnaround investment. I spent $30 on that book. $25 or $30 is pretty cheap. And I'm telling you, I think mine's pretty high grade. I don't know. Someone offered me $1,000 for that thing. I will take it. No doubt about it, yeah. But it seems like if you want a 9.8, the cheapest one for sale is $850. Wow. So CovrPrice is a little off, perhaps in their assessment. That book's a lot hot. It seems a little hotter than, well, again, that's what people are asking, right? Sales are a different story. So you'd have to actually look and see, what was the recent CGC sale. Yeah, let me see if that shows one. 8.5 went pretty cheap. 9.6 sold for $292. 9.8 sold for $620 on October 2nd. So that's probably your watermark right there. $500-600 would be your expectation of price, right? So yeah, I'll tell you that's something I should think about. It only cost me $20 to grade it, and I spent $30 on the book. So $50 total investment to turn around and maybe I get $500-600 for it. Seems like a pretty good investment to me. So number 8 on the list, The Plot number 1. This is the homage, the Gooden variant, as they call it. That's an homage to House of Secrets 92. Swamp Thing, pretty cool. Love the cover. I pre-ordered that in advance. Yeah, I'm not surprised it's a hot book. It says here, raws are selling up to $13, up 184%. Number 7 on the list is Wolverine number 1 from 1988. This is a book I've been saying for a long time is very, very undervalued. I've seen that book in high grade for a long time, selling between $20 and $25. So, I have a really nice copy, ungraded. 9.8 just sold for $200. See, in my opinion, that's still undervalued. It's its first Wolverine ongoing. That book should be going for way more than $200 than a 9.8. But looks like it's finally getting some love. It's up 142%, so it's on the move. Number 6 on the list is Harleen number 1. This book just came out last week, hitting a high of $11. Really cool cover. I pre-ordered that in advance, both covers. Looking forward to getting that. I should get that this week in my Midtown order, which I might do an unboxing of that this weekend, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, beautiful cover. I heard it's pretty good. The story's pretty good from what I've been told, so looking forward to reading that. Number 5 on the list, Uncanny X-Men number 1 from 2013. The reason this is on the list is it's the first appearance of Gold Balls. I have that issue. I'm going to have to break it open. I can't remember that character at all, but yeah, looks like raws are hitting a price of $15, up 119%. Number 4 on the list, New Avengers number 40. There's been no news on the Captain Marvel 2 movie, but looks like they're indicating that there's going to be a new villain. It might be from this issue. So there's the standard cover. The Skrull Queen, Varanki, the Skrull Queen, is that what it is? Okay. So that's rumored. That's our first appearance. Second print sells for a lot more and much more difficult to find. Hitting a high sale of $25 for the regular issue. The second print goes for a lot more. I'm gonna have to look through. I'm pretty sure I don't. I might have the regular cover of New Avengers number 40, but I definitely don't have the second print. I don't think. I'm gonna have to look through my boxes though. I might, who knows? I've said I didn't have something before, and I did. I ended up having it. So, yeah, maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. You never know. Number 3 in the list, X Factor number 15. So because of the House of X series, Reemergence of Apocalypse, and the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, This is, I believe, the first appearance of the Four Horsemen, or 3 of the Four Horsemen, I believe, are in that issue. The 4th ends up being Wolverine, and he doesn't show up, I think, until like number 19, I think. I'm not too sure, but that book is on the rise right now, hitting a high. Well, 9/8 just sold, it looks like, for around $79. I believe I have that in my collection. I've got an X Factor run. I'll tell a story about X Factor. That was the first issue through maybe 30 or 40 I collected when I was a kid. I actually had a subscription to Marvel. I would get it in a brown paper bag in my mailbox every month. I was probably, and that would have been 1987. So I was maybe just entering high school in 87. So I was what, maybe 14, 15 years old, 14. So I had a subscription to X Factor. I liked the book. I wish I had money back then. I could have bought a lot of books pretty inexpensively, but oh well, it's good memories though. I like those X Factor books. I have a lot of them in good grade just because it brought back memories of my childhood. Number 2, Amazing Spider-Man number 210. I think I already mentioned this, but this might be, yeah, this is the direct edition. So I guess the other one was the newsstand edition that they were talking about. I believe I have the direct edition. I don't know what is more rare. I would say back then, newsstand and direct, there were probably just as many newsstands out there for sale as there were direct. Because remember, direct comic books were sold through shops, and no doubt about it, there weren't that many comic book shops in 1980 versus today. So, you know, newsstand editions back then, I don't think are that more difficult to find. I think it's kind of 50-50. So I would be wary of paying. In the 90s, you could make the case that the newsstand would be more rare. But in the 80s, early 80s, no way. Newsstands were probably the same amount of ratio. You might actually have more newsstands out there than direct. So there weren't that many comic book shops in 1980. 1990, different story. But in the early 80s, nah. 70s, definitely not that many comic book shops. So most of your direct copies started in the 80s. So don't pay more money for a newsstand edition, in my opinion. That's my 2 cents. Number 1 on the list is Micronauts number 1 from 1979. I don't remember. I remember the series. I don't think it was any good. I guess they're going to make a movie out of it, perhaps. I don't know if it's going to be an animated movie. But it looks like it's in development. Probably animated, because the director of How to Train Your Dragon, that's an animated movie series. But they're saying it's in active development, so let's move in the book. A 9/8 just sold for $280. So if you're one of those people that cared about Micronauts, which I wasn't into that, but if you held your near mint, your perfectly in mint shaped copy all this time, I would get that sucker off the CGC right now, because as soon as that trailer drops, that book's going to be fire hot, and I would sell it, because probably after the movie comes out, no one will care, and the price will go right back down. Remember, when it comes to trying to get, if you want to sell your book, you're best off always selling it right around the same time the trailer drops. Literally that week is the best time to sell your book. So if you want top dollar and you believe you have a high graded book, you need to get it, CGC graded, not PGX or CBCS or whatever. CGC is going to give you the most dollar for your buck. There's a local comic book shop right down the street from me that grades books for $20. They'll press it for 10. So if you think your pressing will help you get a higher grade, your total cost is $30. And if you could turn your book that you paid maybe cover price for plus $30 into $500-600, that's a pretty good trade-off. So, you know, unless you're really in love with that comic book, that's the best time to sell it, in my opinion, is right when the trailer is dropping. So, not that I've done that all that often, but I do have some sales out there. My claim to fame is I sold my Iron Fist 14, the first appearance of Sabretooth. I had a 9.8 graded copy, CGC. I paid around $1,800 for that book, and I sold it the week the Wolverine trailer dropped for $3,200. And I have the highest recorded sale of a 9.8, at least publicly anyways, of a 9.8 Iron Fist 14. I sold it through Comic Link. Even at the time, looking at eBay auctions and eBay buy it nows, there wasn't anyone close to 3,000 even, so I definitely have the highest recorded price of that book. And again, you know, was I lucky? Yeah, I was a little bit of luck. Right when that movie came out, I thought about it for a second. I thought, you know, I should just put this up for sale and see if somebody makes me an offer. And they did. They made me a really nice offer. So I did really well on it. And that's usually the best time to sell, is right when that trailer drops. So just a little tip there for you, for those of you that have some of these books and you want to unload them. That's the time to do it. And grading them is worth it. It gives you a little extra money, obviously. All right, guys, that's all I had off this CovrPrice. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell for notifications. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this list. Yeah, what do you think of some of these books? Do you think they deserve to be on there? Do you think Micronauts deserves to be #1 on the list? I don't think it does, but you know, I was never into Micronauts, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Look for my next video later tonight on the Hot 10 list from CBSI, and maybe an unboxing video over the weekend. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.